Before you can design and implement a responsible and elegant diversity program for your company, you need to assess your current diversity situation and identify areas for improvement. This will help you set realistic and meaningful goals, measure your progress, and align your actions with your values. But how do you assess your diversity situation? There are many tools and frameworks available to help you do that, but they all share some common elements. In this section, we will discuss some of the key steps and questions you need to ask yourself when conducting a diversity assessment. Step 1. Define what diversity means for your company. Diversity is not a one-size-fits-all concept. It can mean different things for different organizations, depending on their mission, vision, values, industry, customers, and stakeholders. Therefore, the first step in assessing your diversity situation is to define what diversity means for your company. Some of the questions you can ask yourself are: what are the dimensions of diversity that are relevant for your company? For example, do you consider diversity in terms of race, ethnicity, gender, age, disability, sexual orientation, religion, education, language, culture, or other factors? How do these dimensions of diversity relate to your company's goals and strategy? For example, how does diversity help you serve your customers better, innovate faster, attract and retain talent, or enhance your reputation? How do these dimensions of diversity reflect the communities and markets where you operate? For example, how diverse are your customers, suppliers, partners, competitors, and regulators? How do these dimensions of diversity align with your company's values and culture? For example, how do you promote respect, inclusion, equity, and justice in your workplace? By defining what diversity means for your company, you can establish a clear and shared understanding of why diversity matters and what you want to achieve with your diversity program. Step 2. Collect data on your current diversity situation. The next step in assessing your diversity situation is to collect data on your current diversity situation. This will help you measure where you are now and identify gaps and opportunities for improvement. Some of the data sources you can use are: demographic data. This includes data on the representation of different groups in your workforce at various levels and functions. You can collect this data from your human resources records, surveys, or self-identification forms. You can also compare this data with external benchmarks such as industry averages or census data. Perception data. This includes data on how employees feel about the level of diversity and inclusion in your company. You can collect this data from employee engagement surveys, focus groups, interviews, or feedback mechanisms. You can also compare this data with internal benchmarks such as previous surveys or best practices. Performance data. This includes data on how diversity affects your company's performance outcomes such as productivity, innovation, customer satisfaction, retention, or profitability. You can collect this data from your business records, reports, or analytics. You can also compare this data with external benchmarks such as industry standards or competitors. By collecting data on your current diversity situation, you can establish a baseline for measuring your progress and evaluating the impact of your diversity program. Step 3. Analyze the data and identify areas for improvement. The final step in assessing your diversity situation is to analyze the data and identify areas for improvement. This will help you prioritize your actions and allocate your resources effectively. Some of the questions you can ask yourself are: what are the strengths and weaknesses of your current diversity situation? For example, where do you have high or low representation of different groups? Where do you have high or low satisfaction or engagement of different groups? Where do you have high or low performance outcomes related to diversity? What are the root causes and contributing factors of your current diversity situation? For example, what are the policies, practices, processes, systems, structures, or behaviors that enable or hinder diversity in your company? What are the internal or external factors that influence or affect diversity in your company? What are the potential risks and benefits of improving your diversity situation? For example, what are the legal, ethical, social, or financial implications of increasing or decreasing diversity in your company? What are the opportunities or challenges of enhancing or maintaining diversity in your company? By analyzing the data and identifying areas for improvement, you can develop a clear and comprehensive picture of your current diversity situation and set realistic and meaningful goals for your future diversity program. How to design and implement a diversity program that aligns with your company's values and goals. Diversity and inclusion are not only buzzwords, but also essential elements for any successful business in today's world. A diverse and inclusive workforce can bring many benefits, such as increased creativity, innovation, productivity, customer satisfaction, and social responsibility. But how can you design and implement a diversity program that aligns with your company's values and goals? Here are some steps to follow. 1. Train and sensitize your employees. This is perhaps the most important element to be considered in the diversity strategy of an organization. You need to educate your employees about the value of diversity and inclusion, the challenges and barriers that different groups face, and the best practices to foster a respectful and supportive work environment. You can use various methods, such as workshops, webinars, online courses, mentoring programs, and employee resource groups, to deliver effective training and sensitization. 2. Understand the various elements of a diverse workgroup and map which one will fit your business DNA. Diversity and inclusion are not one-size-fits-all concepts. They can involve different dimensions, such as gender, race, ethnicity, age, disability, sexual orientation, religion, culture, education, and experience. You need to identify which aspects of diversity are most relevant and important for your business goals and values, and how they can enhance your competitive advantage. 3. Set goals, collect data, and examine change over time and in comparison to other organizations. You need to have a clear vision of what you want to achieve with your diversity program, and how you will measure your progress and impact. You can use various tools, such as surveys, interviews, focus groups, audits, benchmarks, and dashboards, to collect and analyze data on diversity over time. You can also compare your numbers to the numbers at other organizations in your industry or region, and share them with key stakeholders. 4. Keep it strategic and inclusive. You need to align your diversity program with your overall business strategy and objectives. You also need to involve different levels and functions of your organization in the design and implementation of your diversity program. You can create a diversity committee or task force that includes representatives from senior management, human resources, operations, marketing, sales, etc. You can also solicit feedback and suggestions from your employees and customers on how to improve your diversity program. 5. Avoid pigeonholing people. You need to respect the individuality and uniqueness of each person in your diverse workforce. You should not make assumptions or stereotypes about people based on their group membership or identity. You should also not limit their opportunities or expectations based on their diversity characteristics. You should treat each person as a valuable contributor with their own strengths, skills, interests, and goals. 6. Developing a diversity program is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process that requires constant evaluation and improvement. You need to monitor the outcomes and impacts of your diversity program regularly, and make adjustments as needed. You should also celebrate your achievements and recognize your champions of diversity and inclusion. You should also seek new ways to expand your diversity program and reach new audiences. By following these steps, you can design and implement a diversity program that aligns with your company's values and goals. A diversity program that is well planned, well executed, well monitored, well adapted, well communicated, well supported will help you create a more diverse and inclusive workplace that benefits everyone.